Hey guys, and welcome back to our third week of our online Advent retreat. Did you know that Joseph, Mary's husband, did not say a single word throughout the entire Bible? You might think, well, that means that he is not important at all in the life of Jesus. But hold up, remember, actions speak louder than words. Joseph was a primary example of that. Just because he didn't say anything in the Bible doesn't mean that there isn't anything written about him. While Joseph found out that Mary was pregnant and they weren't yet married, he thought that Mary cheated on him. He definitely must have felt heartbroken. He really loved Mary and was excited to be her husband. We have to remember that back then the laws and traditions were different. If a woman would get pregnant outside of marriage, she could have been stoned to death in front of the entire city. Joseph knew that if he left Mary, that might happen to her, and out of love and Mary's well-being, he knew that he couldn't do that. Joseph's decision to not make their separation a public scandal came out of his integrity. He didn't let the pressures of society stop him from doing what he knew deep down was right. Now let's finally hear what Joseph has to say.
I thought I had it all figured out. I thought I had the perfect woman that I'm going to have a big family with. I even thought about how many children we're going to have. The moment I found out that Mary was pregnant, everything shattered. I thought I knew exactly the plan God had for me. I knew Mary was a good woman, but in that moment, I couldn't believe what actually happened. We were supposed to have my idea of a happily ever after. But let me tell you, I was so wrong. God's plan was so much better than mine. And thank goodness that I listened to that angel and took Mary in. Because of that, I was able to become the keeper of Jesus Christ. Not only did Jesus change history, he also changed my life because I was able to become the man Mary and Jesus needed. And saying yes to God and accepting his plan. It definitely wasn't easy. I had to pray and trust God. But God knew what he was doing. Remember, his plan is always better than ours. His plan in my life brought Jesus Christ into the world. It's amazing how God can work even in moments that seem so difficult for us. Because for him, anything is possible.
Just as we see Joseph being an example of obedience in God's plan in his life, we also have to be obedient in the plans that God has for us. They might not be what we want in the given time, but we have to trust that God knows best in the long run. Now there's 5 ways that Joseph shows us how to live out our lives according to God's will. 1. Obedience. Joseph showed that even though his plans did not go according to what he wanted, he trusted that God knew better. He trusted that God had a bigger and better plan. And the amazing part is, because of Joseph's obedience, we have been saved. Joseph chose to stay by Mary's side and raise Jesus. His obedience permitted for all of that to happen. 2. Courage. Joseph showed courage before the angel appeared to him in a dream. He wanted to protect Mary from the beginning, even though he didn't have to. He had to face so many obstacles. He had to travel many kilometers on foot, getting rejected from every inn. He was looking for a place to stay and needing to run away from King Herod in order to keep the baby safe. In all of these situations, Joseph stepped up. He showed incredible courage, even though nothing was certain, and he never ran away when things got difficult. 3. Prayer. Joseph was a man of prayer and discernment. In his prayer, he listens to God's voice. He listened to his plan for him, and he chose willingly to accept it. He had a listening heart. 4. Provide and protect. Joseph knew that after he accepted God's plan, it was his responsibility to provide and protect his family, Mary and Jesus. He knew that he had a big task, and he didn't take it lightly. We see this in his perseverance when he was looking for a place for Mary so she can give birth to Jesus. He never gave up. 5. Silence. Joseph didn't say anything in the Bible, but his silence allowed us to focus on his actions, which speak louder than anything that could have been said. In his silence, he was able to listen to God's voice and his guidance. These 5 steps show us how Joseph was able to listen and follow God's plan that he had for his life. God's plan was so much better than his own. Through it, he became the keeper of Christ. He raised Jesus. In your life, you might think, God, I know better. I know my situation better than you. My plan right here, right now is the best for me. Trust me, God. This shows that we have forgotten who God is in our lives. He knows best, not me. He is God, not you. He knows the past, present, and the future, not us. He knows what is best for you. He knows what lessons you need to learn. He knows what will make you truly happy. He knows where you are headed in life and how you can get there. We need to trust God. We put so much trust into technology, computers, and cars that they will provide us with the right information and get us from point A to point B. We have to put even more trust in God. We have to understand that He loves us and wants only the best for us. This week's challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to draw or paint a picture of Saint Joseph and underneath write down 3 ways in which you want to be like him. Follow us at Oblate Youth Canada on Instagram or Oblate Youth on Snapchat. Tag us with your pictures or drawing so your name can be entered for our prize to win. Thanks to anyone who participates in this challenge, and we'll see you next week with our last Advent video. Remember, actions speak louder than words.